All right, it is a hot morning show. Mike D here with our favorite foreign correspondent, Donnie from Barstool Sports. He's in Qatar right now for the World Cup, biggest event in the world. And of course, Donnie, we had to expect you were going to be there, right?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna miss it. I didn't get to go to the Summer Olympics in Tokyo because of COVID. I didn't get to go to the Winter Olympics in Beijing because of COVID. So when I heard this was still going ahead as planned, they were allowing fans, I knew I had to be there, despite all the controversy.
Yeah, and there's a ton of controversy, and obviously that's something that is bigger than the game right now. But regardless, it's an event that's happening. We're enjoying it so far. The games have been incredible, including this morning here for us in the States because we're 8 hours behind you. So I guess we kind of got to talk about that. What's the overall vibe after that upset from Argentina and Saudi Arabia this morning?
It was pretty wild. We watched it at the fan village I'm staying at, and there were definitely more Saudi Arabians there than Argentinians just because it's pretty much like a home game for Saudi Arabia. Like I met a couple Saudis here and they just drove 4 hours to Qatar. It's just like most people have to fly 13 hours around the world. For Saudis, they could just hop in the car and do a road trip to the Cup.
Yeah, it was kind of like, for us here going to like the Meadowlands. So, watch a Patriots Giants game or something.
Yeah, like the couple people at the fan village I saw rocking Argentina jerseys, they weren't from Argentina. I think they were from like Pakistan or India,
Mhm.
and I was just like, I don't even know if they were fans. I think maybe like someone like Qatar just like, okay, we need more Argentina fans, so
Yeah.
just throw on a jersey and root for them.
It's just some
Um,
NPCs roaming around with jerseys on, basically.
exactly. Yeah, I tried to get their thoughts on the game, and they didn't really have much to add. They were just like, bad luck, bad luck.
Bad luck. The bar tab had already ran up. Um,
Yeah.
but you mentioned a 13-hour flight. Was that how long it took you to get there?
Yes, around 13 hours. And I didn't check the deets before I got on the plane. I had a middle seat, which I normally try to avoid. But tell you what, I slept almost the whole flight. I took one Benadryl, and that thing just knocked me out. And so I arrived in the country feeling pretty refreshed, which was good because we literally landed and had to go directly to the U.S. Wales game.
Yeah, which obviously was crazy. The USA got off to a great start in the first half. Weah with the goal. Pulisic looked great. Boys were buzzing. Crowd seemed insane. What was the atmosphere like? Obviously in the first half when they go up 1-0 for the American crowd in Qatar.
It was awesome. I think there were probably honestly more Wales fans there than US fans, or at least it felt like that because I guess Wales hasn't been in a World Cup in 60 years or something, which
Yeah,
I
1958, I think it was.
okay, yeah, I had no idea about that. So it's obviously a special day for them. But the Wales fans were so friendly. Like I was trying to like talk some shit and like
Mm.
before the game, but they were almost too nice to talk to. Like I felt bad after doing it. I was like, all right, these guys are way too friendly.
Yeah, because it's life for them, Like obviously here in the States, we have so many different sports that we're fans of, we're passionate about, but for them, it's like that's all they got. They got soccer, and that's basically it. So they see it differently than us.
Yeah. And it was great. I got to pregame that game because I know this one American expat who's been living in Doha for the past like 4 years. So when we landed, he was like, swing over to my apartment. And if you live in Qatar, you get this like liquor permit where you're allowed to go to the one liquor store. There's only one liquor store in the whole city, and only residents are allowed to go there. And they have
Whoa.
crazy rules like you can only spend 10% of your salary each month on booze. But he's been loading up for the past few months. So we went to his apartment, took a bunch of shots, drank some beers, and then made our way to the stadium.
Yeah, this reminds me of like going to like some like college basketball games where they don't sell booze and you have to like go real hard beforehand
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be able to buy it at the stadium. Now that's it leads to an interesting question because we know 2 days prior to the World Cup starting, they announced no alcoholic beverages will be served at the stadiums. But I saw you throwing back some Bud Zeros. Do you catch like a fake buzz? Like, do you think you're catching a buzz drinking those?
I feel like it helped postpone the hangover somehow. Like it tricked my brain because yeah, we drank so much that regardless, when halftime comes around, you're going to be pretty hungover. But I feel like the two Bud Zeros I drank helped postpone the hangover till after the match.
It's the placebo effect.
Yeah, exactly. It was all yeah. So that's what I'm going heavy on the placebo effect. I'm just gonna because I mean it tastes exactly like Bud. So if you believe, like I mean, if I believe hard enough, maybe those things will start to get me drunk. I don't know.
And who knows? That could become a good thing to bring back to the States with you. Be like, hey, maybe I don't actually need this after all.
Yeah, no, I actually they helped because I did dry January last year, which I guess in retrospect has really helped me prepare for this World Cup. But yeah, a couple non-alcoholic beers can sometimes go a long ways.
Trick your brain. It's always good to do. So we saw on social media, I was following along with you last night, and I felt for you. And I was like, I completely understood if this was going to be a lot because you had such a crazy check-in process. We've seen all the news stories leading up to it. What was that experience like? Because that toilet, man, I don't know what I would have done if I walked into that.
It was getting pretty spooky last night. So after the game, the stadium was next to a huge mall, and we were hungry. So we actually went to Cheesecake Factory. The food was great, but it took like over an hour for it to come out. So we didn't actually get to our fan village until 3 a.m. to check in, and there was just this insane long line that was not moving. And the people there were starting to get really pissed off. There was a guy that just started screaming you, you over and over again. And I guess they had all been waiting there for like 2 hours. So we just we're like, all right, this is going to be a really long night. But after an hour, all the lines started to move, and we finally got the keys to one of the shipping containers. And so we roll into the first one, and it's only one bed. So me and my cameraman weren't planning on sharing a bed. Yeah. And then the toilet didn't flush, and the toilet was just like covered in dirt and filled with piss. So we went back to get a new shipping container, and it seemed like a lot of people were in the same boat as us. Either like the plumbing didn't work, the electricity didn't work. Some people already had random people sleeping in their shipping containers, but we got a new one, and the new one was pretty decent. You know, I kind of knew what I was getting staying in the fan village, and it had the two beds, it has an air conditioner, and the toilet was not filled with piss, and the toilet did flush. So yeah, that's where we stayed last night. We just moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, which is like a huge upgrade. It's much nicer because PFT is arriving tomorrow.
Right.
So we have this for 4 nights, but then unfortunately, after those 4 nights, me and my camera guy, Michelangelo, are going to have to move back into the fan village.
So you guys are currently outside of the fan village. You only stayed that first night there.
Yeah, only that first night. Now we have this for 4 nights, and then it's back to the fan village.
It's insane because obviously we saw the pictures leading up to it. We kind of saw what these fan villages were going to be, but seeing your firsthand account of it and knowing that they're literally shipping containers, it to me it's still mind blowing how there wasn't more preparation to have all these people in their country.
Yeah, and actually the shipping containers are pretty nice compared to the tents, because I know they also have these fan villages where those are just a tent, so you don't have air conditioning at all. I think you can pay extra for electricity or something. So it's not too bad in comparison to that.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse. And, how far are the fan villages from the stadiums?
The one nice thing is that so far in the country, I've just been using Uber, and the Ubers are pretty reasonably priced. It's usually I've taken a lot of Ubers that are like a half hour long, less than $20, maybe $15 to get an Uber for 30 minutes. And so I know they built a brand new subway system or metro system for the World Cup. I haven't taken it yet. I think it's free for all fans to use. So I plan on trying that. But so far, it's just been pretty pretty easy to hop in an Uber wherever we have to go. I think the fan villages are probably like 20 minutes from downtown.
Okay. And then, I also saw you post on Twitter, there's a lot of chain restaurants. So there's plenty of like, is there a nightlife there? Or like when you are obviously not at a game, do you have different things you could be doing, going out to, I don't know if you can have bars. I don't know what that's like, but like restaurants.
Yeah, so there are a ton of bars because I've only been here just one day. I haven't had a chance to check them out, but most of the hotels will have like sports bars somewhere inside them. And because now you can't drink at the stadiums, it's causing like a rush for people to get inside all those bars. So for a lot of them, you need to make a reservation. We have a reservation for the 25th at this bar that's hosting a Mexico party.
Oh,
The
nice.
Mexican fans are out in full force. They're all out here raging. So we're gonna pregame the USA England game at that bar with all the Mexicans, where we'll be able to get beers and stuff.
That's going to be insane. Are you going to the game, USA England?
Yes, I'm
Oh
going to
boy.
USA England. I'm going to USA Iran, and then I randomly have tickets to Cameroon versus Serbia.
There you go. Hey, man, any World
Yeah.
Cup match you can get to at this point. I mean, you're there. That's going to be just a ridiculous environment. I'm looking forward to it in 2026. So that's amazing. Just a couple more questions here, and then I'll get you on your way because Mexico and Poland are coming up. Well, 11 o'clock here, so about an hour and a half for you.
Oh
So
yeah.
that I'm sure that'll be a crazy vibe. So a lot of our introductions to you were, whoa, that's weird. We know you've been all over the world. You've eaten, done the craziest things in all of these different countries. Is there something like a delicacy in Qatar that you've contemplated trying that you haven't tried before?
I honestly haven't. I think the only food I've had so far was Cheesecake Factory, and then I got a pizza at the Fan Village. The pizza was probably like a 5.8 or something out of 10. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to try some Qatari food. I mean, I've tried the food in Iraq. Maybe it's similar to that. I have no idea what Qatari food even is, but if you know me, there's not really a lot I won't try. Um, I mean, in terms of just some cultural stuff I'd like to do here, I know they love falconry. Falconry is their like national sport, just like using falcons to hunt and stuff. And so if I can get my hands on a falcon, that'd be pretty cool. They also do camel races outside the city. So if I have a chance to gamble on some camels, that'd be fun.
Do they allow that?
Yeah, it's definitely legal here.
Oh, it's interesting because they're so strict on so many things. I wasn't sure how gambling was over there. If there were things you could bet
Oh,
on. Or...
dude. So I know camel racing is legal. I do not know if gambling on the camel races is legal. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. They have to have fun somehow.
Yeah, unless you win, then it probably
Yeah.
won't be too fun for you.
Yes.
Uh,
Um, I also another fun thing we have planned. I have tickets to see French Montana play on the 24th at this like beach fan festival. That apparently they serve beer there. So if that's fun when we go on the 24th, I might just be posting up at the beach fest a lot.
Hell yeah! So that's lit. Have they announced any other artists, or is it just French? Or
I know like Jason Derulo is here. There were a bunch of people here. Black Eyed Peas is playing. Maybe they played the opener.
yeah.
Then they have this EDM music festival that serves beer as well, and like all the big like David Guetta, Alesso. Like
Oh
there's a
wow.
lot of big names there.
So it's gonna be so they're bringing that's because that's obviously there's you're talking about the here you talk about the soccer and you talk about everything else, all the distractions, all the all the negative sides of the World Cup. But it's I feel like we haven't heard too much about the entertainment. So it's cool to know that they're having these shows, French Montana, they're having all these DJs there for people to enjoy because there is still people enjoying their time there.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't had a chance to explore a lot. I mean, I know there's this giant fan festival right in the middle of the city. and they serve beer after 6:30 p.m. I heard the first few days it was a mess, just like insane lines to get inside the festival. And then once you're in there, there's just one tent selling beer. So then insane lines to get a beer. I haven't checked that out yet, but it seems like we can find some fun.
And if it's anything like the last time you and PFT were abroad doing an event, then was that the World Sevens? Or I'm
Yeah,
not
that was
familiar with
the Hong
that.
Kong seven. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
only going to be in town for like 2 days. So hopefully we're just going to be nonstop filming, nonstop partying, and hopefully put out a couple vids that rival the Hong Kong video.
So it's got a lot to live up to, but I'm sure you guys can do it. We're looking forward to all of your content. I'll be following along with you, and hopefully we can catch up again while you're still there. Donnie from Barstool Sports. Hey, be safe out there, my man, but enjoy yourself and continue to kill the content game.
Thank you, man. Maybe I'll see you at the Rough and Rowdy in Providence.
Yeah, dude, we're pumped. We're definitely pumped for that. I know we're gonna have some of the guys from Barstool in town, so hopefully you can make it back. I know I can understand though, only a couple days out from being, on the other side of the world if you can't swing it. But if you can, man, we'd love to have you in.
All right, man. Well, yeah, I'll keep in touch and let you know what else crazy stuff goes down here.
Oh, I can imagine. Thank you, Donnie from Barstool Sports, checking in with Hot 106.